At DevExpress, we like to profile some of our customers who we think are UI superheroes. And in this video, you're going to meet Mike Palgon. Now, Mike Palgon, several years ago, had created a website that helps cancer survivors. In fact, young kids who have survived cancers to connect with their doctors as well as family to keep everybody on their updates. Now, it's a great website. And Mike was very impressed initially as he created this ASP.NET website when he used our ASP.NET controls, and he saved a ton of time as well as get a beautiful website that helped a lot of people. Now, several years since, he has decided to do a refresh, and in this video, we're going to sit down with him and go through why he's doing the refresh and how DevExpress was still able to help him with this new version of the website that also addresses mobile concerns. So let's check it out. Hey Mike, how are you? It's Mehul.
Good, how are you, Mehul?
Excellent. So Mike, could you tell us, we talked before about this website you had built. Now, can you just take us through the current version of the site? I understand you've done a redesign, and we'll talk about that. But first, I'm curious as to the original site. If we can talk a little bit about how it was built, some of the controls you used, and so forth.
Sure. The original site?
Yeah.
Okay. So the original site is actually right here. You can look at it real quickly. And it was initially designed back in 2009, and it was started using the standard ASP.NET controls. And as I was developing certain parts of the site, it was taking me a very long time. We have a section that has questionnaires and uses grids a lot, and it was taking me a very long time. And then I found through searching the DevExpress controls, and I started using those, and it drastically improved my productivity and my ability to customize the look and feel of the site pretty quickly, gave me more client-side tools to use, and then along with the knowledge base, I was really able to accelerate development of this site. So that this site was built in part with DevExpress controls, but not totally, since I came in the middle and discovered DevExpress partway through the development time.
What was the original, let's say, key goals for this site? I see you've got login, register, find a survivor clinic. Once they created an account, was it to essentially sort of be a social portal? Or what exactly did SurvivorLink provide in terms of functionality? And what kind of controls did you end up choosing, like a grid or so forth, to help with that functionality?
So the function, what SurvivorLink does is it provides a portal where pediatric cancer survivors, and their parents and healthcare providers can all come together to see the same information, and to also learn about what's required for kids that are survivors of cancer, because their healthcare needs are drastically different from kids that did not have cancer. And they need to be monitored very closely. And once they're finished with treatment, a lot of the healthcare providers don't know what type of treatment, don't know what they need to monitor. So this site was conceived as a portal for bringing everybody together and educating everybody and being able to share that health record. So initially, like on this site, these are some discrete controls for finding a clinic or logging in and registering. But I have actually changed that to that is a DevExpress menu in the item link mode now, which made it so much easier to change, and also it's in a master page, so it was just so much easier than before I used the menu, because when I got the project, these were all absolute positioned labels, basically, or links, and it was very hard to use. So the menu, I was able to put the menu in. I mean, in a few hours, I was able to put it in and really take advantage of it.
Yeah, and it looks like you've got it nicely styled with the top background color and all that good stuff. So was that difficult to implement?
Yeah, it was. This item link mode is great, and as you'll see on the new design, I've used the menu again and not in the item link mode, and it's a really useful component. I love it.
So let's talk about this. So recently you mentioned that you've redesigned this website. So what caused the redesign in the first place? Was there a essential like a need for mobile support or something, or why redesign this website?
Um, well, this is a research project, and in addition to the website, we have focus groups, and we do a lot of get a lot of data from people that use the site, and we got a lot of feedback in terms of usability and what people really wanted to see on the site. And as you can see here, if you look through the site, there's a lot of text, you know. And what we found is people really don't like to go to a website and read. Um, and that's all our site looked like a big book. Every time you go to a page, there's just a bunch of reading to do. And um, that's from a content perspective. Then just from a UI design perspective, it's kind of dated, and we wanted to make it in the direction of more mobile friendly. It was We do find that more people are using tablets and phones um, to access the site, or actually it's increasing. We've done some research on that, and it's rapidly increasing that more people are using tablets and phones than their computers to access the site. So we wanted something um, that was friendly to both desktop as well as tablets and on the phone. Even though the redesign is not really a mobile website, it is friendly to mobile, and that's thanks in part to the DevExpress components. They render great on my Android phone and on an iPad and everywhere I've tried.
All right, well, I can't wait to see it. Can we see the new site?
Sure. So this is the new site, and as you can see, it's a lot lighter, fewer words. I still have my Latin in there because this is a work in development. It's going to be launched in September sometime, so I'm still working on the site. Um, so we figured out what people really need to know. I've used this is the ASPX menu control again in a different mode, and this menu is very touch friendly. So I've used it on my phone. I've used it on an iPad, and it's just really easy to use.
That looks great, by the way. Let me ask, in terms of layout, I really do like it. You're right. It looks very clean. It looks a lot simpler. I love you got the simple learn, store, share, and then for parents, survivors, for providers. How did you decide on this layout? Did you have some design help?
Um, I did not have any design help. I I really look at some other sites and just kind of read about what the trends are, and I wanted something a site that felt very light. And a lot of our target audience are teenagers or kids, and they don't want to see a bunch of words. They want to go to the site and see some pictures and know what to click on right away. So I wanted something where it didn't look overwhelming um, on any of the pages. And so I came up with, I knew that we have three targets: parents, survivors, and providers, and that we determined with the team I work with. So I just came up with a design that would provide some place for a place for everyone to go when they came to the site. Something for parents, something for survivors, and something for providers. Um, and then I use a mock-up tool, so I mocked it up and started building it.
Hey, it looks very nice. Now, in terms of the actual layout, you said it looks pretty good even when you're using it on a tablet. Now, you said phone as well. Now, generally, most I always give the guidance that there are certain controls like a scheduler or a grid that may not work so well on a mobile, just because mobile devices weren't popular the way they are now back when we first created those controls, and they're meant for much larger sites.
Right.
But things like a menu, things like editors, they work perfectly. So, when you designed this and you said, okay, I've got mobile in mind, what was your sort of initial layout? Did you start with some kind of template like a Bootstrap that automatically resizes, or were you just using standard divs or something like that that says, hey, and just set the DevExpress controls to like 100% width or something?
Yeah, I'm using standard divs, and I would love to go back and use Bootstrap, but we just don't have the budget in this project to go back and do that. It really require a deep redesign of the site, and including some of the back end, I think. And so while I'd love to do that, we actually are looking at getting funding for going back and creating an actual very mobile friendly site or a mobile site or an app. So this was sort of a compromise that I knew it would work, and I knew it would work well, um, and um, and it fit in our budget. So
Yeah, yeah. And I like I said, I really like Bootstrap. There's also a lot of other great frameworks like Bootstrap as well that help you get that approach. But at the end of the day, if you know what you're doing with the divs and so forth, you can achieve a similar effect. And we have some demos where we do the exact same thing. Just take some divs and look for either programming the responsive behavior ourselves. But
right.
at a minimum, you can still, even let's say if you're using the grid, set a width of 100%, and it will resize. All right.
Right.
Now speaking of which, what other controls are you looking forward to using from DevExpress in this new layout?
Well, I have a menu here. Um, Here I'm using the round panels. I've used quite a bit. This our SurvivorLink news. This is actually a combination of your data view and your headline um, controls. And this is something I wanted to build, and I found uh, some information in the knowledge base of how to combine these controls and use them like this, um, which uh, which I think is really cool.
It is very
Um,
cool.
let's see. Thanks. What else? So on the next page, so this is a page. Actually, let me go for education. So this is one of your grids that it's very simple. I tried to keep, like I said, I tried to keep the site very light. Um, and one thing I've done um, on this site, I haven't done it before, but I started using a theme builder and created my own custom theme.
Hmm.
So I started with your Metropolis Blue theme, and I modified it, and it works really well. It's so easy to use, um, and just change the theme how you want. And I was able to change every table, and I can do tweaks in Theme Builder, and grab the assembly uh, from Theme Builder, and it affects my entire site. It's just really easy to use. I really like that tool a lot. Um, so I'm using your grid here. Let's see where else. Also here, these are quick facts that providers go to learn about survivor care. Um, Let me show you. Um, let's see. If you don't mind, I'll just log in and show you some other places that I'm using it.
Absolutely. And by the way, Mike, this it is really nice, but you're bucking the trend of a developer doing design work.
Yeah, I know.
It's excellent. It's excellent. I think it's inspirational.
Thank you. Um, so here on the left side in this toolbox, this is a round panel, and I wanted the top of the panel to be perpendicular to the edge of the page. So I was able to generate the round panel and then go in and modify the corner image pretty easily just to make it go in straight instead of round. Um,
Very nice.
so I like that about the control that I was able to customize it, and then modify it myself. Um, this is also a menu, ASPX menu. If I go here this is where all the health records are. Um, and then we go into here to manage the health record, and on and we can share a health record. That's one of the big features of this site. So here I've used the page control because you can share your health record with healthcare providers, parents or guardians, or with the survivor, and they each require different fields for sharing. So I use the page control pretty effectively there. Um, let's see. You can also go to the health documents, and I've used the upload control right here. I customize the upload control because we have some other fields that aren't required, that aren't part of your upload control. So I can select a document type and a month and a year, put a comment, and then let's see if I can find, let's see, document to upload. So it uploads, and you can see I uploaded the document right here. Actually, I did it twice. I did it the other day. But I pop up this alert, and that's all done through using the ASPX callback. So I have, once the upload finishes, I have a callback, and my alerts are in the master page. And I just call, it's on an ASPX callback panel. And so I perform the callback on the callback panel, and whatever alerts are set are displayed. And
that's great. That's really nice for usability.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where I use that control. Let's see. Loading panels I use throughout the site if I need to. This is your memo, ASPX memo control. So as you can see, I use them, and this is your combo box. I mean, I use them all over the place. Let's see, what else? Grid view. Yeah, I mean, it really is on the entire site. We have resources. This is all your grid. Where else? All of our sponsors, partners. And then we have these different portals. So this is a little bit different design, but it's the same concept of having the round panels.
Very nice.
Thanks.
Now, let me ask, is this a general site that any cancer survivor or parents or providers can use, or is it particular for a, how should I say, if they're with a certain hospital? Is it open to everyone?
It's open to everyone.
Okay, excellent.
We have people, the research study started targeting Georgia, but we have people from around the country that use it.
Wow, that's great. And you know, people watching this video, if they have family friends that they want to use this, then they can just go to that link, SurvivorLink.org. Is that the link?
Yep, cancersurvivorlink.org. And we have a lot of resources for people that aren't in Georgia, so that they can look up all of these different resources about pediatric cancer and survivorship.
Yeah, it looks like a wealth of great information. I really love this new layout. And when do you plan to roll it out?
It's going to be rolled out in September, probably the middle to end of September.
You know, I really applaud your way of, you know, in the redesign, not only did you address the usability, but you addressed mobile concerns while still being effective. Now, speaking of which, how long has this redesign taken you? Because I understand it's probably you've recreated the site. Is that correct?
Right. Well, I probably started at the end of May, but in June I was on a part of the time I was on another project. So really, for the last 2 weeks have I really been on it full time, and I've made a lot of progress in those 2 weeks. And
Now, would you say it's because of your experience with DevExpress ASP.NET controls, or you know, can other ASP.NET developers leverage the DevExpress ASP.NET controls the way you have?
I think everybody can leverage it, leverage the controls. I mean, when I first started using the controls, it was like night and day to compared to what I was doing before. I mean, you just notice your productivity rising right away. You know, like with anything, there's a learning curve, but it was it was not a steep learning curve. And there are a lot of really good demos on your site, and the knowledge base is great. Rarely do I go to the knowledge base and look for some issue I'm having or something I'm trying to do that I don't find it. And chances are, if I don't find it, then I'm just totally missing the boat. And I go back, and it was something extremely simple that nobody else would ask about because it just never was a problem. So I don't know if that made sense, but
Absolutely. No, no, absolutely. What you're saying essentially is that, and I get this a lot, is sometimes when somebody asks me a question about a particular controller or feature, I find that 99% of the time that question may not be an unasked question before, meaning that somebody may have already asked such a question and a resource exists out there, right? And for us, it's the same problem as anybody else when you have a database full of, this information. How do you collate it? And we're always trying to improve our search. But yeah, if you just go to the support center, start looking up on some right keywords, you will eventually find a similar question or a Code Central example or something that will help you get to that solution. So I think that's a great approach you keep out there, where you said, look, there's probably information out there. Let me keep searching, and then you find, maybe there's a little CSS or a little feature that you didn't know about, and you achieve your end goal.
yeah, exactly. And the resources on your site are tremendous. I mean, without those resources, it's part of the package. You're not just buying the controls. I mean, you're buying all the knowledge and the resources behind it, which are just as valuable to me. Between your documentation and your demos, Code Central, I always do find what I'm looking for. But really, once you ramp up, though, it's not very often that I need to go back there. The way you use the controls are very uniform, I find. So if you learn one control, that knowledge is transferable to other controls.
Yep. Yeah, that's continuity is something we try to keep, even because we have a lot of customers coming from WinForms over to web forms. So I think it's something that we actually try to keep going, so it helps you. Now, I gotta say though, I'm very impressed with the site. Not just for the subject matter. It must feel very good to, of course, help work on a site that helps cancer survivors. But in general, I think your use of the controls and how it saved you time. Really, at the end of the day, what we do is try to create these beautiful controls with functionality that help save you time. And like I said, it's a very inspirational site that I think others who are watching this video can take away from that. Listen, take some idea of what you want to create. Have an idea like, oh, okay, I see some things on this website, or looking at our demos, and maybe make a mock-up or something. If you want, take one of our themes, modify it like you have, and then you can get a mobile-friendly, beautiful website, and you've got it working even on phones, and that's just awesome.
Well, thank you. It's been great, and there's no way I could have done it without DevExpress controls. No way.
Well, Mike, we really appreciate you supporting DevExpress, and we look forward to your continued story with the site. And if there is any further changes in the future, let us know. We'd love to hear about it.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Michiel. I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Mike, thank you very much. I am so impressed by this website. Now, for those of you watching right now, the new version of the website will be released in September. Now, you already seen a preview of it from our video, and if you have any questions or concerns about what Mike is doing, please let us know. We'll put you in touch with Mike. In the meantime, go check out cancersurvivorlink.org. Thanks very much, Mike.